Okay, OCPD coach, back again, another video, keeping it short, keeping it sweet. I'm going to talk to you about how to improve your conversation skills with somebody who has ADHD. And as somebody who has ADHD, I can tell you this much. When I'm getting talked to or getting taught something, I have a really hard time following the conversation from beginning to end if I have no idea what the end is going to look like. It's the weirdest thing. Even reading books, I notice if I jump to the end of the book and I have an understanding of how it's going to end, if I'm not that interested, then I can start piecing things together. But when I'm just getting thrown things, it's like you're just throwing it into the void. It's going in and it's just sitting there, and eventually it fades out. So it's like nothing happened. And outside of working on becoming more intentional, getting on Adderall, whatever the case may be, I think there are certain things that you can do to help your communication if you're dealing with somebody who has ADHD. And how do you know, Shannon? How do you know? How do you know? Well, I'll tell you this much. My wife has ADD. It's not ADHD, it's ADD, but it's pretty similar, right? I'm just the more hyper one. She's the more relaxed one. And a lot of times she's talking to me and I'm sitting here like, okay. So how does this connect to the rest of the conversation? And I would feel guilty. I used to feel guilty because I didn't want her thinking I was trying to be an a-hole. I honestly just have a hard time focusing if I don't know where we're going. And in today's video, I'm just going to show you what I do to help with that conversational element of dealing with somebody with ADHD. This is what I do. I'm very transparent with my communication up front. Especially if we have that type of relationship with my wife, I tell her, baby, I know you're excited to tell me every single detail, but you end up going on a tangent where you start talking about stuff that's not deeply related, and then I lose the plot. So I need you to do me a favor and list out what you want to say, whatever it might be, as if you're giving me a rhetorical essay. Give me the introduction really briefly. Give me the three main points that you want to make, and then give me the conclusion. And maybe I can put in a counter argument in there after your 3 points, whatever the case might be. And it's a joke now because I say it so often. I have to tell him, like, baby, you got to tell me where you're going with this, because I want to follow the conversation. But if I don't know where we're going, I don't know what part to pay attention to. I don't know what part to focus on or pay attention to. And this is the same thing. It's like this when you're learning too. And I learned this young, and I hope that you guys understand and don't feel bad about this if you deal with this. But with ADHD, our learning methods are different. For me, I never learned hearing somebody just talk to me the whole time. I learned with application. And if I have to figure stuff out, it's something about that pressure. I get sharper. And my sharpness allows me to hyper focus into whatever it is. Moving that camera, sorry about that. But it allows me to hyper focus into whatever the situation is to get it resolved. Well, I just lost my train of thought. That's so ironic. Talking about ADHD and losing your train of thought is almost poetic. But it's something that I really realized that I'm good at finding out what I need to know to get the job done. I don't need to know every single thing. I don't need to read the entire book on being a software engineer just to fix an issue where we have a Mac machine that cut itself off in AWS and needs to be started back up. Me reading the whole book would do nothing. Me reading the AWS documentation front to back would do nothing. And I used to always feel bad about myself because I would know people who would say, I read the whole thing and I know every single in and out. And I was like, I don't really know that much. I know enough. If you ask me to do it, I'll figure it out. And when you understand that you might have that mindset as somebody with ADHD, that is just when you need me to do something, I will figure it out. Your confidence level goes up. It does. Because now you realize what your strength is. Your strength is, it's a survival thing. It's so cool. You can actually figure stuff out on the fly. You can make a solution out of nothing. When everybody else just sees the issue, you can say, okay, cool. It's an issue, but I have a fix. It might not even be the best fix. It might be the most random fix. But that's what I love about ADHD is you're not in this box. Look how big my head is. My head won't even fit in the box. It's not being in a box mentality. When you have ADHD, you need at least 64 sides. So I say all that to say this. Understand what your strengths are and try to apply all of that when you are in conversations, because if you try to consider every single element of the conversation, you're gonna get lost. You're gonna lose the plot. So ask them, can you just bullet it out? Give me some main points, or show me where we end, so I can know what I need to focus on and how it impacts the ending. Or what do you want me to focus on? That's a very direct question I would ask my wife. You're telling me a whole story. What part do you want me to take notes on and think about going forward? And she would tell me, baby, I want you to think about this because this is gonna fall into that, and this is all related, or this is related to something else you said. And it helps so much, so much. Another thing is this: when you have somebody with ADHD getting off track, if they're talking to you, then I think it's okay for you to reel them back in a way that's loving. And this is where the transparency of knowing you have ADHD, or knowing if that person has ADHD, it helps a lot. Because I used to have my pastor who was at my church, man, that's my guy, I got to check on him. But he had ADHD just like me. We had the same brain. It was the craziest thing. It was so fun, though. And he would get lost in conversation with folks and just be talking and talking and talking and talking. And we had a code word, which was the notebook, because we had an inside joke on the notebook. And whenever I would see him just doing it, I would say notebook, notebook, and it would reel him back in. And he would say, okay, cool. Now I need to focus. So something like that. If you can develop a code word for when you have that ADHD person that you're talking with, or that person with ADHD, I think that it's something fun. It adds a fun dynamic to the relationship, but it also helps them keep the relationship on track. With ADHD, another thing that I noticed is that a lot of times they're impatient to get their point out. You have to get your point out. You don't want to wait. And calling it out in a loving, respectful way and slowing down the conversation a little bit, to me, has helped a lot. And I really recommend doing that. If you can have it where you say, hey, you got to let me finish my point, or else the conversation is pointless to have, because we're not hearing each other. You're just saying what you want to say. I'm saying what I want to say, and the conversation moves forward. Not at all. I mean, the conversation doesn't move forward at all. So if you can loop all of these different things in and have these conversations, I think it'll help you out a lot. And the final thing, y'all, by the way, I just said I'm drinking this Blue Bear tea, and it's got me so sleepy. I'm falling asleep, but I needed to make this last video. I want you to do this. You should watch public speaking shows, was what I was going to say, but I think you should get involved in Toastmasters. Toastmasters helps you learn how to form a speech. It helps you understand what words you're using. So I know I used a bunch of filler words because my brain is melting. And excuse me, it just helps you overall become a better communicator and a better listener. So every time you go to Toastmasters, you have people give speeches and you have to give evaluations on their speech. Well, imagine if you did that in a relationship. You have the person talking and not giving them feedback where it's just, oh, I need you to change all this stuff. But if you started thinking about conversations from that point of view, where you were saying, okay, cool, you're talking, what can I get from what you're saying right now? I think you will become a better listener, and you would understand that you don't have to talk the entire time. You just need to listen to what they're saying, and also continuously ask them, is this what you're saying? Like, let me make sure I'm getting a clear understanding. Is this where we're going? Because improving communication skills is really built upon transparency. Ultimately, it's built upon transparency. You guys, I'm being as transparent as I possibly can. I'm so freaking tired. My eyes are closing, and I have not eaten dinner. I'm going to go eat my dinner, warm my dinner up, and I have like 4 hours worth of videos that I'll be uploading and spreading across for the next few weeks, and then we'll get that backlog going. But if this video was helpful, look at that camera tweaking out. Look at that camera. It's just tweaking out. I have a new camera that'll be here. It's already midnight, so I think it comes today actually, and we're going to set that camera up. It's a 4K camera. 4K camera, baby, 4K. We're going to see how it works. We'll see if it works better than this one, because this one is just dying out on me. But I hope y'all learned something from this. It's something that I probably can make a better version of this in the future, and I might if I'm not so tired. But I think it gives you the enough, and that's what I'm trying to work on with the OCPD, is giving enough. It doesn't always have to be perfect, but it's enough. If you liked it, if it helped you, leave a comment. I would love for you to like it. I would love for you to share it. And I will see you guys on the next video. Hope you keep fighting for your life. Peace out.